behalf of the Shukakai Karate Federation, I would like to welcome all the participating countries to the 2011 European Championships.
Good to be at the European Championship.
A lot of new faces, and the standard is, you can see the development in the standard is improving a lot.
Today I'm competing in individual fighting and team fighting as well.
Fighting in individual heavyweight kumite and team fighting. Nervous, anticipated, can't wait to fight.
We've got a lot of new faces for the first time, you know, but they're showing a lot of promise.
Tomorrow will be my very first fight, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm a bit nervous, but I'm happy to be here, and yeah, it will be a great day.
So we are Finland A team, and we're doing a team kata men and an individual kata.
I'm ready to fight today, so just want to get out there now. Feel ready. We've done all the training, so.
Every Europeans tends to get heavier, get harder. Just makes you appreciate, you know, the depth of Shukakai around the world, really.
It's a great honor and to represent my country.
Swedish girls doing team kata.
I have competed every year since 2005 in Estonia. Training, it's a lot of basic. Go running, gym. And when I'm here, when it's time to compete, it's music and you jump around and just just get sweaty and ready to compete.
It's excellent to come up to my age and still it's possible to participate in a championship for some reason.
Everything's going to go to plan, and we've got hopefully a few tricks up our sleeves, so we should hopefully can take it all the way to the goal.
Hopefully we're going to get the gold.
Definitely going to bring back the gold.
Been training really hard for this. I think it's our time to shine.
I'm fighting in the veterans, the over 40s lightweight category.
You know, on paper we've got a really strong team. We've come really strong over the last 12 months.
I'm in the ladies heavyweight fighting, and that's one of the first categories on as well. And then the ladies team fighting after that.
And now it's just putting it all together, trying to prove it on the day.
Felt really good in the kata, felt really strong. I'm in the final later on today, so hopefully it'll go well. Try my best, that's all you can do.
Every tournament's hard to win. I've been competing now since 1989, never gets any easier.
Nothing more than a buzz of getting, getting on the mat and getting that adrenaline pumping through your veins, and you just want to get out and have fun. I enjoy competition. Hopefully, I've got a good few years left in me yet.
A lot of first timers, get over the nervous energy in preparation for the World Championships next year. If they'd come away with a medal, especially some of the first timers, maybe they would have thought, oh, maybe I don't have to train as hard for the World Championships. Because the World Championships is going to be twice as hard. You've got harder competitors, so it just gives you a chance to focus on what you need to work on over the next coming 12 months.
enjoying watching these guys warm up, looking at the Portuguese guys doing a lot of ballistic, plyometric type of training.
Portugal's a very strong team, always been very, very competitive against England.
England always been a great team, always giving us a good fight, and they have all our respect.
Last year was a big year for me. I've got a tremendous respect for myself and Nuno in the category. You see, we've had a rivalry for a good 10 years now. Managed to beat him on his home soil. So obviously, I know I've had to put in an extra amount of training this year. Because I know obviously he's going to want to come back and do exactly the same to me.
Looking at the British team, practicing their four-stall timing.
I think England is the strongest team. But it's going out there and proving it to everybody.
Obviously, when it comes to the team event, then it's just the 5 guys who I'm on the mat with. You know, we're the only guys there that matter, and you know, we go out and just fight our heart out.
Taking a look at the other side here, more of an attacking attitude seems from the Swedes and from the Finns.
Finland got another young team coming up. The Swiss, I've been looking at them, they've done very well in the kata, and I've seen them progress over the years, so I think they're a team to watch.
We're in the final today. That's exciting. And then I took the bronze in individual kata.
I've never seen the Swedes do such good kata before. The kata's more realistic, the kata's more warrior-like. You know, they're not just doing good technique, but they're putting their souls into what they're doing.
I don't have a medal yet in committed team or individual, so it would be great to take it this year. You'll see.
Looking at the standard, yeah, we've got some work to do. I'll be going back home and telling the guys we got work to do.
I'm probably one of those special guys that, you know, the age thing doesn't really get to me. As long as I can still do it, I'm going to do it.
Everyone comes to beat England, we're always the ones to watch, and I think, you know, sparks are going to be flying.
yesterday was the annual get-together at championships where we can share what we believe is important and to further Kimura Sensei's teachings to the European or the world group.
So how do you get the maximum power out of your body? And how do you control your nerves, and where do you focus on? You focus on the hara. They call it the hara, right? The stomach, this whole region here. If you control this, you've got a chance. If this is out of control, you haven't got a chance. If you use your small muscles, you haven't got a chance. If you use all the muscles and you get the biggest muscle group, this whole area here, working, you've got a chance, right? So what I want to do is very similar, almost identical to what I did in the States now with the World Chief Instructors Training, is to work on getting power out of the ground. So the power starts in the ground, but it needs to stay somewhere. So this is what I want you to think about. Your power comes out of the ground, but when you've used the ground to drive the power, it stays here, if you're clever. Now in the half-step exercise, nearly everybody still using a lot of arm and shoulder. A lot of arm and shoulder. So the secret is to try and get the stability and keep stable and use that stability through your technique, right? That's always the challenge, and that's always what I'm trying to improve on for myself, trying to get a little bit better on that.
Where we started was that people would adopt a squat position. They would go down into a ready-to-come-up position, and as they did that, of course, they'd be harmonizing their breath and doing what comes naturally. But just understanding in a powerful movement like that, how with the breath in on the way down, and then using the breath out on the way up. The body does this naturally, but sometimes in punching techniques, people will hold their breath and not use that natural power. So the concept of a moment just before one goes into a powerful movement is important to understand.
I want you to take a squat position. Imagine you've got a bar in your shoulder and you're going down, and when you go down you're breathing in, and then you're driving out of the ground and you're breathing out. Simple as that. We'll start with that, and then when we've got that, we're going to get into the end of the technique. So the one goes up and the other one goes down. And the one goes in, breathing in, and the one goes out, breathing out to get the heaviness down, okay? Simple enough, but always good to improve on that. So can we do this? Brucey, where are you? Please help me. Just welcome Sensei Bruce from South Africa again. So Bruce puts his hands like this, like he's carrying a bar, thinking about pushing up with the shoulders. He goes down, breathes in. And now when he pushes to drive up, I resist him a bit. And then he goes down, breathes in, and then he comes up and breathes out. Goes down, breathe in, up, breathe out. And the most important moment is just before he comes up, like just before. And he needs to get to know that moment. Okay, going down, breathing in, and hold it. And now start to push, but just hold it. And that's what I want you to do. I don't want you to hurt your backs. Keep your back flat. Keep looking up to make sure your back is safe. And then drive. Okay, breathing in, breathing out. And what he can do as well is when he breathes out, he can push his arms out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And we're just going to do that a little bit and get used to that. And then we can work on the end as well. Awesome. Take a partner, let's go. Thanks. Yeah.
What we find fascinating is that in the generation of power, there are so many ways of looking at the technique. What we were trying to do, what I was trying to do personally yesterday in the Gashku, was to take the strength from the hara, or the abdominal region. We were looking at various aspects. One of them was to get compression in the same way as if somebody is doing a squat, that they will generate power from the pelvic floor, from the compression in the abdomen, and then use that through the body to allow that power to transmit into the various techniques.
You're still trying to hold it. You're still trying to hold it. You want more power, you've got to transmit more power. Like I said, this doesn't make you strong. You feel strong, but he doesn't feel it. So it's soft, it's more powerful if everything else is working. So let's check Bruce. Bruce is pulling down with the elbows, that's nice. Now, the next exercise then is that he pulls back into a punch position. But he tries to make sure that the elbow is pushing down already. He tries to make sure the elbows are very compact before he starts. And then when the arm goes out, I'm trying to feel under his elbow. Is he staying strong under his elbow as he goes up? But a little bit light at the end, not as good at the beginning. Just have to do it again. So he's good in the beginning. Now he starts to go out. He always thinks about his strong down from the stomach. He's trying to connect the elbow and the stomach all the time. So as he finishes, he's strong all the way through the punch. One of the challenges of learning karate is that when you learn to punch, people very often will start with the arm movements and then start moving into more and more body movement and etc. The challenge then is to almost unlearn and to start getting the power to emanate from the ground through the abdomen and then channel that with the hips and the shoulders and the elbows into the various techniques. We made quite good progress with that. And what was quite fun was to see that the other Shihans were all working in various ways towards the same end. So although you have 4 different instructors teaching, the common message coming through is something that students can identify as almost 4 directions of looking at something, 4 directions of the compass perhaps. We were happy with the result. It was a great success.
I look at my watch, and that watch tells me the time. It goes, oh, it's 11:45, time to finish. But there's so much work inside that watch that is telling. It's not just the face. It's this little cog's working that. That's doing this. This is doing that. It's the stuff really that you don't see, because what you see on the top is useless if the inside is not working. And I think this is what the 4 of us are trying to say. Give some credit to the inside of your body. Don't just think of the watch face, because that's just your hands. At the Gashuku, the main emphasis sort of in my teaching was to look at the importance and the connection between the Giran block and the follow-on, sort of like with the return punch. Whatever we do should be like body assisted, that it's not just done by the hand, but sort of, if you throw something, you don't stand there. If it was just all about the arm, you'd be able to throw it the same that way. No, you've got the body position. If I was to naturally throw a ball, I would do sort of virtually similar to what Sensei Chris was saying by developing it that way and coming out and throw. So my body is developing that power. It's the same thing. With blocking as well, the hand, if you say like Gidan block, the hand is the part that makes the contact say first. But how strong you're going to block is going to depend on so many other factors rather than just the hand. Understand?
All four of us believe very strongly in the connection between sort of the internal workings of the body and not just the what the hands do or what the legs do. There's much more to it than that, sort of, when performing a technique most effectively.
So what I want to start off with is I'll build the block up, but we'll start off with simply sort of with just to get the circle. Right now, to get the circle, you must move the elbow across. A lot of people sort of, when they do the block, they keep the elbow here and do the hand like that. But this doesn't move. The whole arm should move if you want to be effective. You want sort of like, first of all, the elbow is moving across. So the whole arm is moving this way, here. So if I was blocking, I don't want the elbow on the outside of this arm and just trying to do it like that. You understand? So I want this elbow moving across. It moves across. And then sort of like I do the circular motion here. You understand? Just with the hand and circle. Just do the circle. Bring that elbow across and circle that way. Don't worry about the body because I'm going to build this technique on. Just get the hand and circle.
The elbow must move across to the centre. The circle takes place there with that, and almost as if the hand is coming in a backwards motion rather than sort of going out to meet the technique itself. So it's like sort of what I consider sort of like a come to me block.
I'll take it across and pull it back this way. So I'm pulling it more towards my side than trying to push it that way. Say, go away. You see the difference?
The block and the counter should be performed as one technique rather than a separate technique where you block, pull the right shoulder back and then give the counter. The block and the punch virtually go at the same time.
The two major things that we've done at the moment: move the elbow, do the circle and pull the hand back. Come to me block to engage this muscle. Now, if you think it's not exact, but if I think backwards is negative, you know, this is negative and this is positive here, that way. Forwards is positive, backwards negative. So if he punches and I turn back from it here, do I feel stronger or do I feel weaker? Am I getting stronger sort of by doing this? Is my resistance greater to the pressure being put on it here, or do I feel weaker? If the answer is I sacrifice the power of this block, and you think, yeah, my mind is thinking the punch. Who do you think is going to hit first? Him or me? Him? Who thinks him? Yeah. Stick your hand up if you think him. I'm in this position. So most people think him. Yeah. I am an 8th Dan, you know. I might just get away. But so you would be right. You would be right because I'm pulling away from it. He's geared there, so when I come to turn, bang, the second punch is going to go in here with that.
The block should set the gearing for the counter. So to set the gearing, you would have to do the circle and turn towards the block, keeping sort of like the right counter punch hand where it is, and setting the gearing by changing the body position by moving it forwards.
Now, if I think positive sort of is me going like that, isn't it? Me turning forwards rather than me pulling back. That way. So if you think with the block, what I want to do, he does the punch and I'm turning towards him here. My position is towards him. Now, it's by turning towards him, I put power into the block by turning towards him here, and I'm also in a better position to release the punch. You understand? So what I'm saying is go here, one, now sort of I would have released that punch. Here, one, that punch has gone. Putting that into there, one. This is already, I can attack him here very quick by turning that way here. One. It's easy to let this go.
Well, yesterday I taught what I called 5 points, and it had to do with creating pressure in the stance and pressure in your upper body.
Create the pressure here like a...
What that is supposed to accomplish is when you create pressure and you release it, it's a much smoother technique and it's a much more responsive technique. So the 5 points that I came up with took me about 45 years to decide which points were the most important to develop someone to help all of the technique get better. One of the points was just with the back leg. What do you do with the back leg? How do you use the knee to lever your heel down and then push back up into your upper thigh on the same leg, and that creates pressure. And you get to have a more instantaneous motion when you move forward, and you also have a better grip into whatever surface you're on.
This drives the heel down. This also drives the butt and upper thigh. This and this forward. That's 1. Number 2.
The second point is the front joint. When the front joint goes down straight, well, that creates a pressure in the front knee going forward against the backward pressure of the knee in the back leg, and that creates a balancing of the pressure in the stance and makes your foundation that much stronger.
First I do number 1, then I have to have number 2, which is the front joint going downward, not backward, straight down. And when this goes straight down, your knee goes forward slightly. When you go, if your knee comes backward with it, no good. If that joint goes backward and your knee comes with it, no good. Should be the knee goes forward as your joint goes straight down, like it had a weight on a string, like a plumb bob they call it in the United States. Just hang straight, not like that. This goes straight down here. So I have 1, then 2. Not 1, then 2. That's not right. Not 1, then 2. Not right. 1, 2. And that should create 3. Third leg over here. There's 3. This is 2. This is 1. This is 3.
And just with the shoulders, I had them dropping down behind the hip and dropping in front of the hip. That's the 4 and 5 points. And what that does, it's really an exercise that once your body feels that alignment, it carries that alignment through all movements, whether you're kicking, you're throwing, you're attacking, you're defending. Your body starts to search for those moments because it has developed a strength of not only the muscles but the ligaments, and it makes you more prepared to respond with whatever striking technique that you need to do.
4 is always a shoulder that drops down behind your hip. 5 is always the shoulder that's in front of the other hip, and that drops down. And now you start to see some similarity with what Shihan Eddie and Shihan Chris were teaching. Just this, okay? Number 1 is the trigger to release 4 and 5. Number 1, you can't release 4 and 5 until you feel the finish of number 1. And don't forget, it's not just a straight leg. It is something in between 2 objects and pushing against, like I'm on the floor in a low ceiling and I'm going downward with my legs and upward with my arms. But in between is my body. That's the knee, okay? So I'm pushing against my heel and my butt. That's the trigger to release 4 and 5, and you finish in 4 and 5. Remember, 4 and 5, number 4 is always the shoulder that drops down behind the hip, and number 5 is the one that drops in front of the hip. Okay? So just watch this from the rear a little bit. Pay attention to my rear leg. And the thing is, when you pull the trigger, you have to keep it pulled. You can't pull the trigger and let it go. Right? This is what some may be doing. You may be going like this way here. 1, 2. See how I let that go? And it takes away everything I tried to build up to help this. You know? Could be Gyakuzuki, Mayakan, whatever. But Oyazuki is most obvious. So I'm going to try to do a good number 1 and hold it. And I can't release my shoulders until 1 is finished and held. Right? So I go like a what? I let it go though. A little bit, I let it go. I don't know if you can see it. It went here and I felt it like that a little bit. It's not good. So let it, just wait for it. Wait for it. Wait to hold it, you know? So take your time. So you're like this way here, and it just goes like a 1, bah! Just hold it, all right? Can't release my shoulders, 4 and 5, until I have that. I go 1, bah, huh? But it's not just straightening your leg. It's pressure against your butt and your heel at the same time, going this way. And something in between, wedging in it and holding. Let me see if you understand what I'm talking about. Please try it.
Those 5 points, if you have them, everything that you do is going to be more proper and useful. Just look at this for a second, all right? Just kind of stand over here. This ain't going to be like this a target. This is going to be my target. So if you take the Orizuki, Mayaken, Gyakuzuki, don't matter. You keep on building pressure to release. To release. To release something, you have to have something to release, right? So how do you have to create pressure somewhere? Torque, bowing, stretching, contraction. No, contraction is the release, actually. So you're using your lat muscles here, your chest, your stomach muscles, your thigh muscles. Now, when you punch, when you release the punch, if your shoulder goes down and across your stomach, then you're doing something right. But don't take your stomach and make your shoulder go down and across. Not, okay, take my shoulder and put it across, go like this way, put it down into my stomach. Then you're commanding your body to do something, rather than letting your body find the way by itself to create that motion. Shoulder goes down to the opposite hip or thigh or knee, wherever you want it to go. Or stomach, like an X, you know? So you can build a little pressure now. You don't have to have much, you know? So just like this way here, and then release, you know? Like a sail on a boat, when the boat goes. You know? It just goes nice, flows nice, you know? So you're like this way here, and this nice. It gets that nice, like, it just goes, wow. Don't feel it yet. Almost that one. Get a little acceleration. And the wind up. A little bit like that, maybe. Remember, as you step over, number 1, push back until you feel it pushing your heel down and your thigh and butt forward. This way. Bracing. Probably going to need the number 2. And then 4 and 5 in the shoulders. Don't punch with the arms. Punch with the shoulders. That means they're connected to your body and you have torque.
I'm a chiropractor by profession, so I have a fair knowledge of
the muscular system. And my research is basically that there are certain muscles in the body that you need to employ, and certain muscles that you must not use in the technique. So certain muscles have complementary muscles, other muscles don't. So some of the muscles are made for light work, and the other ones are made for the strong work. But if you still employ the muscles that are doing the light work, that will hamper and hold back your technique.
I have been working on the muscles on the inside of the body, doing a lot of the work. And then I've studied a little bit, you know, to confirm what I'm looking for. And then I studied, amongst other things, a crocodile.
A crocodile is a fascinating creature because seemingly has a bite of 3,000 pounds per square inch. Now, that bite can't come from the muscles of mastication. Those are the chewing muscles only in the jaw. He has connections of those muscles that come right through the body, right into the legs. So when he grips with the legs, the jaw gets that tremendous amount of power there.
Crocodile has got the grip in his mouth equal to if you're lying on the ground and they drop a little car on you, a motor vehicle. It's got so much power there. But you know, when they transport them, they just put a little bit of leather around the jaws, and he can't open it. Never made, the strength was never made to open. The strength was all made to crush. Okay, to crush. Now, when you study the anatomy of a crocodile, you will see that the muscles that work the jaws are not only there, they go deep down back, deep inside, into this leg, into that leg, into the other leg. So when he bites, all those muscles in the front bite and bring that jaw in.
The human body resembles the crocodile to a large extent, although we don't have muscles going up to the jaw, but we do have muscles, connecting muscles in from the shoulder through the body, and those are the muscles that I'm working on to employ to increase the speed and the power of the punch.
If you stand like this and imagine this is the bottom jaw of the crocodile and that's the top jaw of the crocodile. Now, it's weak to do this, but have a look what happens now to the body. Can you see that? It squashes. It comes up and comes down, but all these muscles here help to squash it down. And then you'll feel that a lot of grip comes with it. Let's have a look, please. Face that way, please. Okay. There he is, the crocodile. Okay. Make the crocodile mouth. Always this one underneath there. These muscles he's used certain muscles to do this. But now he's got to use all these muscles, deep muscles, to crush. Come down. Squash up. That position there. Okay, now from there, try to lift his back leg up. Try to push his arms down. Try to push his neck forward and push it back. I want you to do it just now the same. Now keep the same position and open the jaws a little bit. A little bit more. Yeah, now lift the back leg up. Yeah, there he goes. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. Use the front muscles to bring those jaws in so that these muscles run down into the legs and into the legs, into that position there.
You can't lift this up, you can't push this, and it's all compliments of the crocodile. One. When you punch, squash. It's the jaws of the crocodile. And come back.
There are certain muscles in the body that you should use, and there are certain muscles that have no place to be used in certain techniques.
Have a look when you catch a fly. It's harmony. There's harmony in the movement. There's harmony in the movement. We don't go this way. There's harmony. And there's acceleration. So when I'm punching, my main acceleration wants to be right here. Not there, because there I'm stopping already. My main acceleration wants to be there. And I can guarantee you, if I accelerate at that point, he won't be able to block my punch. If I go too fast in the beginning, yes, then he can. Too fast is no harmony. But if I'm thinking, open the jaws, that is at impact point, close the door. I've closed the jaws. Can you see that? Open, closed. Open, closed. Open, closed. So from there, I'm going to do a oyazuki, and I'm going to, the jaws are open, to, jaws keep open, and I go faster, and I go faster, frustrating. But this time I want to intimidate him. Close the door. Then difficult for you to now try to do a counter punch. I'm not saying hit him hard. This is commanding him to intimidate. That's what I'm getting at. Yes, thank you.
We invest in our top students. They are the ones that are going to have to carry on. You see, so 5,000 people that don't understand Sensei Kimura's technique is not going to help us. We want 15, 20, 25 of the top people in the world that can perpetuate what he was teaching.